What do you think kind of the mood of the locker room is at right now? Obviously, emotional game the other night, but still 1 point back.
No, I think we still have the energy. We're just gonna build off the last game. I think we played a really good game. We just couldn't find the net, and if we do, it's going to be a good game.
Has your mindset changed at all as these games have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, just as going into it? You think this is the biggest game I've ever played in, and this is the biggest game I've ever played in? Is that going through your mind, or how are you approaching this mindset?
No, I don't really approach it different. I feel like I walk into the same games as I always do. But of course, it's a little bit more at stake. But yeah, all the games have been up. It's been kind of a lot of pressure, and it's been meaningful games. So I've been just working with that.
Newsy was just talking about how the officials are officiating the games differently. The intensity is a little different. Are you sensing and feeling that?
I don't know. Actually, I think they've been pretty good, and yeah, high level. But I haven't felt any difference.
So, I mean, you guys have been through some highs and lows as the final weeks of the season wind down here. How have some of the veteran, more experienced guys kind of helped calm the waters?
Of course, they've been through a lot. They have good experience to help us younger guys to get into it. And yeah, I think myself is a little bit eager. I want to. I want to win the game like every shift, maybe sometimes, but they know it's a long game, a lot of minutes, so it's yeah, they keeping us cool.
When you have a play that you maybe jump up ice or whatever, like, do they say anything to you like on the bench about it, or they just kind of let you feel it out? Or?
No, it's been more like feel it out. Afterwards, it's maybe me and Peter have some discussions, just what could be different and stuff like that. And Ben has been a lot helpful there as well. So yeah, I think it's all been just good with that.
So, what's it like being back here? Is it weird being in this room, or?
No, not really. I was here last year, and it's just exciting to be able to go against the old team.
Zach, how would you encapsulate how this season's gone for you?
It's kind of been a roller coaster of emotions, being full-time NHL last year and then going to the American League, but it's been a lot of fun. I've been with my best friend Dominic Shine in Grand Rapids, and we've been putting together a nice season at the end down there and making a good playoff push, but it's exciting to be here playing good hockey, so.
How'd the when you first signed, like, did you kind of more NHL than it has been? No going in.
I didn't even know what to expect. It's such a weird summer, and then I was hoping to get something done with Carolina. It just didn't work out, so I didn't want to wait too long. And then sometimes it's just the hand you're dealt, so didn't really have any expectations.
Do you think you put together some good work on tape with Grand Rapids that maybe it leads to another steadier opportunity at the NHL level moving forward next year?
I mean, it's tough to say. The cap's going up, so that should help a little bit, but I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
But just got to have a good off season, and hopefully there's an opportunity. I know for a guy in my position, it might come down to a little bit of luck. So.
To jump into a game of this magnitude coming in, like, what's kind of the mentality like with that?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's kind of do or die for both teams, but I think just kind of carry over what I've been doing in Grand Rapids, just what I did when I was here, play solid, play physical. There's not a lot of margin for error in a game like tonight, so being as simple as possible and just limiting their opportunities and kind of get some energy for the big dogs here.
Does it help to have some familiarity with Zarnik, who was in GR with you for a lot of the year?
Yeah, definitely. Me and him killed penalties a lot together in Grand Rapids, so yeah, there's definitely some chemistry there.
Sounds like you still see yourself as that type of player. You establish yourself in that line with Brandon and Teddy, carried over in Toronto. Is that still how you go about your business, regardless of level? Or
well, I'm definitely not a power play guy or top six anymore, so yeah, definitely keep it that way.
Is there anyone you're especially looking forward to playing against tonight, seeing on the ice?
No, not really. I mean, play with a lot of these guys. I played with Shea in college, so it's good to play against guys you used to play with, but at the same time, you can't be their friend. So.
Where'd you take Buns for dinner?
Capital Grill we went to.
Okay, solid, classic.
Yeah.
What were your impressions down in Casper? How you seen them kind of grow over the course of the year?
Yeah, it's crazy. They're both so good and so skilled. I think Marco, just a little younger than Mazur, so he wasn't as mature at the start of the year, but like his mindset and his attitude has just come such a long way to being like a full-time pro. And it's translating. Both those guys have a ton of points, and Mazur is such a weird player, but he's like so good at the same time. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, they're both going to be really good pro players.
When you're around two young guys like that, having had the experiences you've had, do you kind of try to pull them aside and give them little pointers? Or you kind of just let them find their.
Mazur, I think it's different for college guys that are a little bit older. They kind of know, but definitely had a couple talks with Marco. I know some of the older guys did too. That definitely helped him along, and some of the younger guys that are 19, 20 coming out of juniors, and they might have finished the year last year with GR, but their first full year pro is a lot different than when you're the shiny new toy.
Dean Watson, what's your impression of him been down in Grand Rapids and how he's been able to just corral the group now into the playoffs?
He's been awesome. I mean, it's hard to remember a coach that's like that, like has such an open door policy and is just like really good at communicating and really cares about people like off the ice and beyond X's and O's. So I think he's done a good job just kind of getting to know everyone's personality and create a good environment in the locker room beyond X's and O's.
What's the message to the guys going into tonight?
Similar approach the other night. Really good start. I loved our pace the other night. We were good out of our zone. One of the best breakout nights we've had, hence having almost 5-6 more minutes of zone time than Wash. Maybe a little bit harder around the goalie. Ned's very similar. He's playing at a very high level right now. If he sees it, he's going to stop it. So I think hopefully we can do a little bit more of getting around the net.
Cobb, Rasmussen, and Fisher have been a big line for you. It's got some big goals, a lot of energy, some size, and some grit. 2/3 of that line missing. How do you make up for it?
Other guys step up. Joe Villano will be slotted centering that third line. Excited about the opportunity for him. They're a different animal at home, obviously, with the type of centers and the depth they have. When you look at their bottom six, it's very impressive. And obviously, you got Malkin and Crosby up the middle in their top six. So it'll be a good challenge for our group, but I'm expecting our group to perform well tonight.
Is it the same defense group as last game?
Same defense group. Yep, exact same.
Wallman's still kind of bothered by that nagging injury?
Yeah, still probably not completely himself, and I just think the play of some of our other our D core has been very good of late. And obviously some of those guys getting some roles in some special teams too. So we're trying to win tonight, and we're going to stay with the D core. It's going to be some pretty good team hockey of late.
DeBrincat obviously spent some time with Larkin and Raymond early in the season. Like, what differences have you noticed with him with and away from Kane?
He plays a little bit different with Patrick, which isn't a bad thing. They look at trying to find each other. Sometimes when he plays away from those guys, he plays a little more direct, a little more straight line hockey, which I think benefits him. So I think it's a little different look. Even playing here last time here, they had checked Kane and Kat pretty handily, and it created a matchup issue for us. So we just split them up tonight. We've done it all year. We've had some good depth and the luxury of some depth to do things like this.
When you don't have the last change, do you lean harder on some of your big lines to try and free them up at all, or maybe give them more?
Yeah, I think you got to be able to trust all your lines on the road, especially against this type of lineup, and we do that. I mean, like the Aston-Reese, Zarnik, and Fisher line. I think they'll be a very responsible line tonight and give us some good minutes.
What are you seeing from the power play from this group as of late?
Good, and even the other night, it was the power play probably reflected the rest of our frustration. They had their 2 power plays, they had their looks, had a couple of grade A's, and they were good scored in the previous game. So, the good thing about the other night, it was a playoff standard reffing game, which is good. That's probably a month earlier. We probably have 4 or 5 more power plays because we had the puck all night. But the other night we had 2, they had 1. We'll probably expect the same tonight. And if you get that opportunity, you got to execute and perform. And again, they didn't finish, but they gave us some looks, and we'll expect the same from them tonight.
Is that part of the learning experience too? You talk about the play on the ice, but also just the refereeing and
Yes,
officiating this time.
absolutely. And I think our guys handled it well. You can even see some of our experienced guys. Even early on, we had all that possession. A couple guys, I wouldn't say asked for calls, but we had a blatant trip that took away a grade A. And even David Perron was like, this is different hockey. It's not going to happen now. And it calmed our bench down, which was right. And that's the way it's going to look. Our guys want playoff caliber type games. Even though it's still the regular season, these are playoff caliber type games, and we have to handle it both physically and with our head too.
You know what it looks like when Ned gets into a rhythm. What is it going to take to disrupt that?
Getting in his eyes again, creating some traffic. We saw Ned at the end of last year get into a rhythm. Kind of joked yesterday, probably cost us some draft picks with some of his play at the end of year last year. But he's a rhythm type goalie. He's playing a high level tonight, and I think it's when your goalie is such a good teammate, which Ned has always been and always will, there's a little extra in playing for him, and I think that's what's happening in that locker room right now. They've pointed, I believe, in 9 straight, and obviously he's a big part of it.
You've got scoring up and down the lineup all year long, but in talking with Dylan yesterday, he said the big guys have to step up in the offense from that standpoint. How much will you rely on them?
Of course. And it's just obviously with those guys out that you mentioned, I like where our top 6 is at, the caliber of our top 6. And again, we need those guys to finish. It's the reality of it. Even the success, you take our last 2 games, they're unable to solve the goalie. The previous game, all 3 of our goals came from their quote-unquote top guys. So we'll need it tonight to give ourselves a chance.
I know Zach's only gotten the 1 game. What can he provide for you?
Who's that?
Zach Aston-Reese.
Reliable minutes. We trusted him and his minutes. It was a tough call for us because GR's having a really good season. We have a lot of options down there. But looking a little deeper into it and how we wanted this to look tonight, I think we needed someone that could help eat some minutes for us, some responsible minutes. He's done that his entire career, so there's a lot of NHL experience right there.